So the other day I released a video, 2024 according to NHL 19, and that video did pretty well. So I decided I want to do another video pretty similar to that. We're currently on NHL 17, which is Auston Matthews' rookie year. He's starting at 86 overall. I also made the executive decision to give him franchise potential because he only had elite potential, and I also made the decision to turn him from a playmaker to a sniper. To me, those are two things that were an absolute must for a video like this, because we're going to see what Auston Matthews' career is going to look like according to NHL 17. A lot has changed in the NHL over the past 8 years, and today we're going to be resimming Auston Matthews' career in NHL 17, and we're going to see what happens here. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they're a solid young team. Freddie Anderson, only 26 years old, he's got medium elite potential. I have a feeling he's going to be our goaltender for the remainder of this video. But this Toronto Maple Leafs team, along with Auston Matthews, has a ton of potential, and we're going to see what these guys are going to be able to do here. So I've done enough yapping, let's get into this video. So although I'm controlling the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm not going to be making any moves with them. We're going to allow the CPU to handle absolutely everything. However, I do have trade offers on, so if I get offered a trade and I think it makes sense for the Toronto Maple Leafs to make, then I will accept it. But on top of watching Auston Matthews' career simulation, we got to pay attention to what happens in the league here and see if we see any crazy moves. Before we get through this entire season though, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're trying to hit 70k by the end of the month, and if you don't subscribe, we won't be able to do that. So in season number 1, we are going to see the Toronto Maple Leafs make the playoffs, and they're actually a really solid team, 9th in the entire league, a 44-29-9 record. This team's doing a lot better than I thought. When it comes to a lot of the teams ahead of us, we're actually really competitive. Like, we had 97 points, and the San Jose Sharks, who finished second, have 105, so yeah, we're pretty close. The Chicago Blackhawks though, they stand alone. Now Auston Matthews, what are you going to do in your rookie season here as a sniper on the Toronto Maple Leafs? 19 goals, 45 assists for 64 points. You're up to a 91 overall though, so that is a massive positive here. But bro, you're a 91 overall and you had 64 points here and only 19 goals. Like, Nazem Kadri, who is playing third line minutes on this team, scored more goals than you. Like, significantly more goals. He had 30 and you only had 19. Like, there's no excuse for that, plain and simple. Meanwhile, Freddie Anderson, an absolute savior for this team. He's picking up 36 wins this season. He had a 283 when it comes to his goals against, and a save percentage of 924. Yeah, bro was locked in. And on top of all these numbers right here, he's also posting 7 shutouts, so he's that guy. I also thought I mentioned there were no significant trades that happened this season. We actually didn't get offered any trades, so that's why Toronto's not making any moves here. We're moving on to the first round of the playoffs, and we're going to see if this version of the Toronto Maple Leafs can make it out of the first round. We got the Montreal Canadiens up first, so at least it's not the Boston Bruins. So Freddie Anderson has actually been really good in the playoffs. He has 3 1-goal games. He did have this 5-goal allowed game, but you know what? We're not going to talk about that one. This team just doesn't score goals. We lost 1-0 here and then lost 1-0 again here. The team has to step up in front of Freddie. Alright, so here we go. It's an elimination game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're going to have to step up. We're going to be allowing a goal in the first period, but Auston Matthews, he's picking up a massive goal in the second. Is this team going to be able to survive another game? It looks like they will be. A massive Nazem Kadri goal in the third period is allowing us to steal game 5. So at this point, if we lose, it's because of the offense. We're picking up a goal here in the second period. The third period is going to decide this game. Auston Matthews picking up an empty netter. Freddie Anderson, this might be the best hockey we've ever seen from a postseason goaltender. So the Toronto Maple Leafs might have been down 3-1, but they fought all the way back to game 7. Shea Weber's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Andrew Shaw's going to be picking up another goal in the second, but Nazem Kadri is going to keep this game close. The third period is going to decide this one. Nathan Horton, of all players, has picked up a third period goal, and then in overtime, we're going to see Auston Matthews pick up the winner. Never mind, it's St. Louis Stanley Cup champion Tyler Bozak. He's probably the OT winner, and we're off to the second round. We're in Auston Matthews' rookie year, and he's already made to the second round, so it's safe to say he's having a lot more success. I mean, we're also in an alternate universe and 2017, so Tyler Bozak technically isn't a St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup champion. He hasn't even played for St. Louis, and they haven't won a Stanley Cup yet, so yeah, I guess there is that. But let's not talk about that. We have to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the fact that they made to the second round, and they don't even have to take on the Boston Bruins. Instead, they have the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa's still a great team here, but I would have been much more scared of Boston. So Freddie Anderson is just him, plain and simple. 1 goal allowed, a shutout, then allowing 2 goals here. We're going to ignore what happened in game 4, but Freddie Anderson in the past 8 games has been the best goaltender in the NHL, and you know what? He's going to continue to put up those numbers moving into game 5 here. We're scoring 5, and we're off to the conference finals, a place that Auston Matthews has never been before. Now, who would have thought in Auston Matthews' rookie year we would make it all the way to the conference finals, but here we are. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be taking on the New York Rangers. Over in the Western Conference, we have the LA Kings taking on the Calgary Flames. We have a couple great teams left, but Toronto, I think they stand alone. Alone is one team that definitely shouldn't be in the conference finals right now. Now, unfortunately, I think it's safe to say that reality's caught up. We allowed 5 goals here, only 3 in this game, then we allowed 6 in game 3. Freddie Anderson's completely falling apart here, but you never know, maybe he's going to make a 3-0 series comeback. So we got game 5 elimination between the New York Rangers and Toronto Maple Leafs. We're picking up the first 2 goals of the game, but the Rangers are going to immediately respond here. The third period is going to decide this one, and it looks like Lindbergh's going to be picking up the lone goal in Freddie Anderson in the third period, and we're going to fall in the conference finals. The New York Rangers were clearly the superior team, even though we actually had more wins than them. That's right, the New York Rangers actually won less less games than us. We won 44 and they only won 42. So yeah, it's a very interesting season to say the least. Now, although we lost in the conference finals, it's definitely a great sign for the team here. And Auston Matthews' rookie year making it all the way to the conference finals, never thought I would see the day. Honestly, I never thought I would see the day Toronto makes it to the conference finals, but here we are. Meanwhile, the LA Kings, they're going to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the New York Rangers in 7 games. So that was a pretty hard fought series. Now, the real question is, did the big time players make big time plays here? Auston Matthews, you dropped to a 90 overall. Don't know how that works, but you had 16 points in 17 games, 5 goals, 11 assists. I just need you to start scoring more. What also concerns me a bit is I know for a fact against Montreal, you picked up 2 goals. So that means outside those 2 games, you were absolutely doing nothing when it came to goal scoring. So yeah, I need you to start scoring more goals out there. I don't really know what you're doing. When it comes to goaltending, Freddie Anderson, you can't really do too much more here. You had a 202 and a 938. Like at that point, you just need the team to be better in front of you. I mean, in saying that, Jonathan Quick had a 178 and a 942. So yeah, maybe you can be slightly better, but not too much better. Also, when it comes to Calgary, I have no clue how they made it that far. Brian Elliott posted goals against above 3, and he only had a 902 save percentage. Look at every other goaltender here. How did Brian Elliott make it all the way to the conference finals? Now, I just thought we could look at the draft lottery results when it comes to this new universe. Edmonton, how did you get the 3rd overall pick? How are you literally bad all the time? Like, you already have Connor McDavid on your team. He's in his 2nd season right now, and you still can't see success. 3rd last in the entire league? Bro, that doesn't even make any sense. So on top of taking a look at the draft lottery results, we gotta look at the retired players here, because Jaromir Jagr, you're gonna be retiring here, but that's actually not the notable player that I want to mention. It's Patrick Marleau. At 37 years old, he's gonna call it a career here, so it's gonna be impossible for Toronto to sign him in free agency. Now that's gonna be huge for Toronto because they're not gonna be putting $6 million towards this man. There was a ton of other players that retired, including Zdeno Chara, but Patrick Marleau, I just thought he was the most important to mention here, seeing as the Toronto Maple Leafs did throw him a bag. Now we're not gonna spend a ton of time with the draft here, but I do want to see who gets drafted in the top 5 here. Vesalainen is gonna be going number 1 overall to the Colorado Avalanche. He's got some medium league potential. Liljegren is now going to be joining the Vancouver Canucks, so he won't be joining the Toronto Maple Leafs. When it comes to the 3rd overall pick, the Edmonton Oilers are going to be going with Comtois here. Medium league potential, so he should turn into a good player, but who really knows what's going to happen. When it comes to the 4th overall pick, Carolina missed big time here. Top 9 potential. Although it's high top 9 potential, you just drafted somebody with top 9 potential 4th overall. Ain't no way that just happened. Okay, this might just be an awful draft. Top 6 potential going 5th overall. Cal Foote. Yeah, he's going to the Arizona Coyotes. That is tough for them. Okay, this is just a really bad draft. Nolan Patrick dropped all the way to number 8. Okay, I want to watch the top 10 here. How did Nolan Patrick just drop to number 8? No, that is incredibly disrespectful to Nolan Patrick, especially since we saw a couple of those guys go ahead of him. Like high top 6 potential, high top 6, and they're defensemen, by the way. So it's high top 6D potential, high top 9 potential. I don't care what you think, Nolan Patrick still should have went number 1 overall. So Toronto made 2 signings that I actually like for them. They're going to help Auston Matthews win a Stanley Cup here. Zaitsev, he's going to sign 2 years at $3 million. And then the other deal is going to be keeping Zach Hyman around here. He's not going to turn into that 50 goal scorer, but he will be a great player here. 2 years at $1.4 million. That's an amazing contract for an 81 overall. There were a couple other guys signed here, but they weren't super notable. This team has $14 million entering free agency. They should be able to make a splash. Now there's a handful of solid UFAs available here, and it looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be going all in for Tyler Johnson. Medium elite potential. He could be a really good player to play alongside Auston Matthews, although he is a centerman. Do we really need another center here? I don't think so. Carl Alzner actually would have made a bit more sense. He would have helped the defense a ton here. I would have preferred if we went for that signing instead. Outside of these two 87s, it is a bit of a weaker free agency class. You have a handful of 85s, the odd 84 here, but nothing spectacular. Also, I have it sorted by overall, and somehow an 83 overall is above an 84, so explain that to me. So I don't really know what's taking Tyler Johnson so long. We offered him that contract day number 1. We're 10 days into free agency, and he still hasn't signed with anyone. But I do want to mention the successful offer sheet. The Detroit Red Wings are going to pick up Mika Zibanejad. They're giving up a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round pick. So Detroit, Mika Zibanejad is going to be a massive pickup for you. And Detroit, you're getting some decent compensation, so it might be worth it. Like, Detroit's not going to be a great team, so you are going to be getting a top 5 pick. Now, this might be the worst thing that could have happened to us. Tyler Johnson's not going to be signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but instead, he's going to join the Carolina Hurricanes. 6.1 for the next 4 years. Now, there's a reason that I said this is the worst thing that could have happened, because they didn't just get Tyler Johnson, they also got Carl Alzner. So they got the 2 best free agents, and we got nothing. Like, when I say we got nothing, I mean we have not signed a single free agent, and we're 15 days in. So yeah, we're not getting any good players here. We're basically running it back with the exact same team. So heading into the 2018 season, Auston Matthews is going to be up to a 92 overall here, and he's looking not too bad. James Van Riemsdyk's an 86 overall, so is Mitch Marner, so is Nazem Kadri. Meanwhile, William Nylander, he's going to be an 84. He actually was a healthy scratch, but I made the executive decision to throw him into the lineup here, and I'm probably going to do something like this. I need Willie playing some top 9 minutes for us. Also, this was our 1 free agent signing. We signed Justin Williams, 36-year-old Justin Williams, to a 1-year, $2.1 million contract. That's literally all we got. When it comes to defense, it's looking pretty similar to last season. And when it comes to goaltending, I'm happy that's the exact same here. Freddie Anderson, you were absolutely incredible in the postseason. I want to see you do it again. As long as this team steps up in front of you and Auston Matthews decides to start scoring goals, we'll be able to win a Stanley Cup in the future. So I guess me not making any moves to the Toronto Maple Leafs really doesn't change anything, because these are all the trades that happened this season. We had 3 trades happen this season. Mike Green's going to join the Philadelphia Flyers, Michael Backlund's going to join the Vancouver Canucks, and then Riley Sheahan's going to be joining the Columbus Blue Jackets. Those are the big moves that we're seeing. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, honestly, I don't even know what you guys were cooking up this season. 12th in the entire league, a 42-31-9 record is incredibly disappointing. This team's supposed to keep on getting better here, and you won 42 games. The main thing saving this team right now is it's a really competitive league, so there is no superstar team. Every team is pretty close when it comes to the standings. I think the difference between 12th and 5th in the entire league was only like 6 points or something, so we were right up there. Auston Matthews, 70 points, 21 goals, 49 assists. Reichel, I guess you're going to be second on our team in scoring. Kirby Reichel, okay, yeah, this team is down bad, respectfully. Like, Auston Matthews, you had 21 goals. Like, what are you doing? I made you a sniper because I want you to score goals here, and you're not doing that. When it comes to Freddie Anderson, he posted a 926, that number's great. A 224, that number's great as well, and you had 34 wins. We're making the playoffs here, but I'm not too sure how much I trust this team. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. They're going to be finishing second in the Atlantic Division. They're going to be a tough matchup, there's no question about it, and even if we can get by Tampa, we're going to have to get by Montreal once again here. So these first 2 rounds are really going to tell us a lot about the Toronto Maple Leafs and how much grit they have, and I think the simple answer to that is 0 grit whatsoever. So we might have been third in the division, but that means absolutely nothing when we're playing like this. The defense is great, the goaltending is great, but unfortunately we are going to be dropping game 5. We got to respond in game 6. We're not blowing a 3-1 series lead here. A great performance from Freddie Anderson is going to allow us to take this game, and we're off to the second round. So in the year 2018, the Toronto Maple Leafs have now made it to back-to-back second round appearances. Auston Matthews has been in the league for 8 years now, and he's only made it to the second round once. In this new universe, in his first 2 seasons, he's made it to back-to-back second rounds. Things are changing here, but there is one thing that's never changing. Carey Price being absolutely dominant in the postseason, and that's who we have to take on next. So we're going back and forth with the Montreal Canadiens. The offense has been leading this series. The goaltenders actually haven't been that great whatsoever. Carey Price hasn't been elite. Freddie Anderson hasn't been elite, but I think that might be changing coming up here. Montreal, they're going to be scoring 5 in game number 5, and we're going to need game 6 elimination. So we got game 6 elimination here. The Toronto Maple Leafs need to show up. Zach Hyman, a big goal on Carey Price here. We can always rely on him. Alex Galchenyuk's going to be picking up a goal in the second period. This game's all tied up. The third period is going to decide this one, and in the third period, we're going to keep on allowing goals here. The defense has to be better next season. We got to make some big changes here, because that's clearly the thing that let us down in the second round. Montreal was scoring 5 goals every other game. So not too long after the Shea Weber PK Subban deal, we're going to see both of these teams make the Stanley Cup final. It was a hard-fought series the entire way, but it looks like Subban, the Nashville Predators, are going to come out on top in 7 games. So unfortunately, Carey Price isn't going to be hoisting a Stanley Cup here, but PK Subban will be, so I guess that is a lone positive. So Auston Matthews, at this point, there's absolutely no excuses. Yeah, the point total doesn't look bad. 3 goals, though. You're a 94 overall. You can shoot the puck. Your shooting abilities are great here. Just do it. You scored 3 goals in the postseason. That can't happen. Nazem Kadri had 6. Mitch Marner had 8. Mitch Marner showed up in the postseason, and you didn't. It's kind of ironic when you think about it. Also, Freddie Anderson, I know for a fact your numbers are going to look terrible based on what happened in the second round. I'm not blaming you. The defense has to be fixed here. Hopefully, the GM in this universe addresses that issue. Now, it wouldn't hurt if we looked at the award winners. In 2017, it's going to be Patrick Kane taking home the Art Ross. In 2018, we're going to see Vladimir Tarasenko. When it comes to the Hart, it's going to be Patrick Kane and Claude Giroux. When it comes to the Norris, we're going to see Ryan Suter and Drew Doughty. The Lady Bing's going to Kane and Tarasenko. When it comes to the Calder, we're going to see Auston Matthews taking it home in 2017. That's all we really care about. Conn Smythe, that's going to be going to Jonathan Quick in 2017 and Pekka Rinne in 2018. So I'm happy to see he's getting a Stanley Cup here. Corey Crawford's going to take home the Vezina in 2017, while Carey Price is taking it home in 2018. When it comes to the William Jennings, it's going to be the same award winners. The Frank Selke's going to be going to Jordan Staal both years. When it comes to the Ted Lindsay, we're going to see Patrick Kane and Claude Giroux. And the Maurice Rocco-Richard, Alexander Ovechkin's going to win another one in 2017. Meanwhile, in 2018, we're going to see Vladimir Tarasenko. So last season at the beginning of free agency, we saw Mika Zibanejad go over to the Detroit Red Wings through an offer sheet, and Detroit had to give up their first round pick. What did that first round pick turn into? The 4th overall. So the Rangers are going to be getting a great pick here. Also, the best thing that could have ever happened to the Toronto Maple Leafs just did. Nathan Horton's going to retire here, and that means we're going to be clearing up $5.3 million. We're going to have a ton of money entering free agency. We better use some of it. So we're moving on to the 2018 draft. We're going to look at the first 5 picks here, going number 1 overall to the Carolina Hurricanes, high top 6. Ain't no way that just happened. You did not take somebody with high top 6. Okay, are we going to see somebody with medium elite potential get drafted here? Joe Veleno is going to the Colorado Avalanche. The only good pickup so far, the Islanders and Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know what you guys are cooking up, but you are missing on great prospects. Okay, I'm sorry, but the Rangers just drafted Coxhead with the 4th overall pick they got from the Detroit Red Wings. High top 9 potential. I don't know what's worse, the fact that you drafted this guy 4th overall, his name, or his potential. I can guarantee you right now, this man never plays in the NHL, and that would also be quite the jersey to have. Okay, the draft in this game is completely broken. There's no good prospects. Okay, so I was going through the entire first round here. I just wanted to see if there's any good prospects, and obviously there hasn't been. And then I just saw Toronto's selection. I'm sorry, but you drafted this guy 19th overall. It's Kurashev. The only issue, Kurashev only has high AHL top 6 potential. Not top 6 potential, AHL top 6 potential. So we might never even sign this man. So the Toronto Maple Leafs had a handful of dollars to work with here, so they can keep a ton of players around. JVR is going to be 5.5 for the next 3. Tyler Bozak 3.2 for the next 4. I like those signs right there. Kirby Reichel, he was great last season, 85 overall, so 3.1 million for 1 year. I can definitely live with that. Connor Carrick, you're a decent enough offensive defenseman for us. 2 years at 3.2, not the end of the world. On top of that, William Nylander is also going to be signing an extension, but it's only for 1 season, 3.1 million. I was kind of hoping we could do a multi-year deal with you. And then Nikita Soshnikov, it's going to be 3 years at 3.1 million. Now, the only concern I really have right now is we just spent a lot of money re-signing players. How much cap space do we have? 9.5 million. We need defense. Plain and simple, we have to fix the defense on this team. We have enough offensive firepower. Those guys show up in the postseason. The defense has to be better. But the other thing that we have to look out for is Auston Matthews needs a deal next season, and so does Mitch Marner. So we got to make sure we have money for those guys as well. Yeah, Toronto's GM, not cooking. But when is Toronto's GM ever cooking? So when it comes to free agency, there's a good defenseman that we could pick up here in Jack Johnson. I really hope the Toronto Maple Leafs do that. When it comes to the other forwards, Cam Atkinson would be great, and so would Evander Kane, but we don't need forwards on this team. We need defensemen. Like at this point, I might even just take Ian Cole. Yeah, he's only an 82 overall, but he can't really make us worse. Goaltending wise, it's a bit of an interesting free agency class because we are going to see Craig Anderson. He is 37 years old though, so take that as you will. There's also 28-year-old Darcy Kemper, but he's only an 83 overall, so nothing special. Alright, so this is what's happening in free agency here. Obviously, the Toronto Maple Leafs are doing nothing. Josh Bailey's going to the Calgary Flames. Darcy Kemper's actually going to sign with the Colorado Avalanche, so they're going to be somewhat competitive now. If the Montreal Canadiens weren't good enough, Jack Johnson's now going to be joining the team, so they're even better. And then Evander Kane, he's off to the Florida Panthers on a 2-year deal. Although we're only 5 days into free agency, all the top guys have now signed, and Toronto did absolutely nothing once again here. Okay, so just looking at the forward core here, we're going to be able to score goals, no question about it. Auston Matthews, 95 overall, you should be able to score goals. I don't know what you've been doing the past couple seasons, but it's time for you to take over. Now, there is one weird thing you might notice when it comes to the forward core. Who is a healthy scratch for us? William Nylander and Zach Hyman. For some reason, the head coach wants both these guys as healthy scratches. I don't know what he's cooking up, but yeah, we're just going to go with what he wants. Definitely not the right decision, but you know what? That's just the way she goes here. Actually, I'm making an executive decision. We can't have these guys on the bench. So William Nylander, you're jumping into the lineup here. I'll probably play you on the 3rd line here. So you're going to take Kapanen's spot. And then when it comes to Kapanen, I guess you can play over Zach Hyman. It's not much of a difference when it comes to overall. Last season, it was the defense that really held us back in the postseason. So what did we do? Not adjust that whatsoever, and I think our defense might be worse. So yeah, this team's going to struggle. Freddie Anderson, there's only so much you can do. Alright, from here on out, unless it's a major trade, I'm not going to show it, because this season we didn't have a single trade. Not one trade was made this season. CPU trading is on, by the way. Nobody makes deals though. So I cannot express my disappointment in words here. There's one thing that this Toronto Maple Leafs team has done that the current Toronto Maple Leafs haven't, and that's make it to the 2nd round multiple times. But this team also did something else the current Toronto Maple Leafs have never done. Missed the playoffs. We're 17th in the entire league, a 42-35-5 record. How did this even happen? Like in reality, this team should continue to get better here. Auston Matthews, how do you suck this much? 22 goals, 43 assists, 65 points. You are a 95 overall. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Bro, you are a 95 overall and you picked up 65 points. I understand the scoring in this game is a lot lower than it probably should be, but even still, you are a 95 overall, pick up at least a point a game. Like, how many point a game scorers were there actually in the NHL this season? Quite a few. Tyler Seguin, 107 points. He is a 93 overall. Jamie Benn, 96 points. He is a 95. Alexander Ovechkin, 93, including 64 goals. He's a 96 overall. Ryan Getzlaf, Steven Stamkos, Claude Giroux, all of these guys are in the high 90s. So are you, Auston Matthews. Start performing like the rest of the guys here. Before we do anything though, I need to see what this team's offense was compared to the rest of the league here, because we had to have had one of the best offenses. Never mind, no we didn't. I thought our offense was way better than this. We were mid. Our offense was mid, but am I really surprised at that? Auston Matthews had 60 some points. It should be way better than this. Washington Capitals, Stanley Cup champions. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. Ain't no way that team rebuilt faster than us. That's just not right. So Tyler Seguin, we're going to see you take home the Art Ross this season. You're also going to take home the Hart. The Norris is going to go to Eric Carlson. Lady Bang's also going to Tyler Seguin here. Don't care about the Calder. The Conn Smythe, that's going to go to Braden Holtby. He's taking home a Stanley Cup. The Vezina is going to John Gibson and the William Jennings. John Merle is going to be taking home the Masterson Trophy. The Frank Selke is going to go to Bergeron here. The Ted Lindsay also going to Tyler Seguin. Meanwhile, Alexander Ovechkin, he's taking home another Rocket Richard Trophy. Auston Matthews, please do something. But you know what? I don't even want Auston Matthews to do something. Toronto, sign a defenseman. Make this team better. So you remember how we signed Tyler Bozak to that long contract? We gave him like 5 years at $3.2 million. At 33 years old, bro's retiring. He is retiring way earlier than he probably should be. We're freeing up a bunch of money through all these guys retiring right here. But yeah, we got significantly worse here. I mean, Tyler Bozak, he dropped quite a bit. He's down to an 80 overall. So maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. We're going to be freeing up some money here. This team just better cook with that extra money. We also had the 12th overall pick, so I might as well see what we're getting here. A medium top 6 potential forward. Hey, it's better than what we got last season with Kurashev. I think we also might have got Kirby Dach with the 132nd overall pick, and then we got Bemstrom with the 162nd. So that's 2 late steals that aren't going to develop for us. Now this team just spent a lot of money, and Auston Matthews, you're not worth $9.2 million for 3 years. You just aren't. You have not performed in this video. You've been a bum this entire time. Mitch Marner, $4.8 million. You haven't really been that great either. Jake Gardiner, I mean, you're one of our better defensemen, so I'm happy we're keeping you around. William Nylander, it's another 1-year deal with you. Reichel, we're going to be giving you almost $4 million. Zaitsev, you're also sticking around here. We have $4 million in cap space. Like, we're not able to make any moves here. Somehow in this resimulation, the Toronto Maple Leafs are actually going to be worse. Now, if this team was smart with the salary cap situation, we would have had enough money for Ryan McDonough, and he could have came to the team here. 89 overall. Jeff Skinner would have been available. Wayne Simmons, who's an 88 overall, 30 years old, so he would still be great. Tyler Myers would be great. Nyquist would be great. Anton Strawman would be great. All these guys would be massive upgrades for the team here. When it comes to goaltenders, we're going to see Sergei Bobrovsky available here. Marc-Andre Fleury is also going to be available, but he is 34 years old. So there's a ton of great goaltenders. Calvin Pickard, 85 overall. Edmonton Oiler legend, he could come join the team. So let's take a look at the big time free agent signings. Ryan McDonough signing a 3-year deal with the Arizona Coyotes. Johansson's going to be joining the Carolina Hurricanes. Jacob Silfverberg's off to the Chicago Blackhawks. Wayne Simmons is going to be signing a 6-year deal with the New Jersey Devils. Calvin Pickard's also going to be going to the Arizona Coyotes on a 1-year deal. Carolina's also making another big move here. They're getting Marc-Andre Fleury, while the Toronto Maple Leafs are signing another centerman because we don't have enough centermen on this team. I hate this team. I don't know who this GM is, but bro is not cooking, and bro has never been cooking. Alright, so I really don't have too much to say here. Auston Matthews, JVR, Mitch Marner. This should be a good first line. Timashov, you're up to an 86 overall. No clue who you are, but I guess you're that man. Nazem Kadri, Reichel on the second line. We have a lot of playmakers here. I'm just going to be that guy to say it. We have way too many playmakers. We have no snipers here. That's why we can't score. When it comes to the defense here, I guess Carl Gunnarsson's going to be joining the team here. How much is he getting paid? $2.6 million. That's actually not the end of the world. He's a good defenseman for us. We have 83s across the board here. 84, 85, 91 in Morgan Riley. And then when it comes to goaltending, Freddie Anderson's still holding it down here, but I don't think this team's going to be able to score enough. It's kind of funny that goal scoring is actually our biggest issue right now. Like, Auston Matthews, 95 overall, franchise potential sniper, doesn't score goals. Like, how does that make any sense here? And since I know for a fact there's going to be no trades made this season, let's just get right to the end of the season and not waste our time. Okay, I am not kidding when I say this. I have received 12 different offers for Mike Riley. This isn't Morgan Riley that we're acquiring. We're getting Mike Riley. They want 2 AHL players. I just keep saying no because I don't want to take on the contract. I don't want $2 million for this season, so I keep declining it year after year. This is the 12th time they've offered me this trade. I'm going to decline this trade, and we're going to see how long it takes for them to offer me a trade again. So we got offered the trade on the 28th. How many more days? Wow, it was about 6 days. Now they want 2 different AHL players. So Carl Gunnarsson, you're the most valuable player in the NHL, no question about it. You single-handedly turned this team around, 3rd in the entire league. We won our division, 48, 28, and 6 record. We can officially compete with the best in the league. And on top of that, we're going to see Auston Matthews picking up 78 points here, but he still can't score goals. I'm fully convinced he's coded to not score goals. 92 slap shot accuracy, 93 slap shot power, 90 wrist shot accuracy, 92 wrist shot power. And this man right here can't score goals. Morgan Riley, you're pretty good this season, 65 points. JVR's picking up 65 as well, but why can Auston Matthews himself not score? The one concern I do have is our goaltending right now in our defense, because Freddie Anderson, a 253 and a 917 at this point in time are not good numbers. These numbers right here have me very concerned for the postseason, because let's look at the goaltenders ahead of you. Braden Holtby, a 926. Jonathan Quick, a 921. I take it back, a 917 is actually pretty good. Ignore what I said. I was completely yapping. We're into the postseason here, and we're taking on the New Jersey Devils. Auston Matthews, you're back in the postseason once again. You're known for getting to the second round, but this time you got to make it back to the conference finals and then win the Stanley Cup. Cup. So we won game number 1, and what did we proceed to do after that? Allow 10 goals in 2 straight games. We woke up in game number 4, but right now the defense continues to hold us back. Who would have seen this one coming? Our weak defense letting us down, but thankfully we're going to be stepping up in the past couple games. Can we make it 3 straight games of good defense? It doesn't look like it. We need game 7 to settle this one. So here we go, game 7. The Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the New Jersey Devils. The winner's going to be off to the second round here, and it looks like that's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs unless there's a massive collapse. No, there isn't. We're off to the second round, taking this one 5-3. And Auston Matthews, you picked up a goal in the second period. You'll love to see it. So we got past the New Jersey Devils in a 7-game series. That was way tougher than it should have been, but now we have the toughest matchup of all time. We got Carey Price and the Montreal Canadiens. Last time we played this team, if I remember correctly, it wasn't actually our offense that let us down. It was the fact that we just decided not to play defense. So we've been better defensively through the first 4 games, but we still split the series so far. So game 5 is going to be a massive one. Continue to play good defense here, and we're going to be in a good position. We're going to be stealing that one 2-1. Can we make it to the conference finals with a win in game number 6 here? Nope, we're allowing 5 goals. Should have seen that one coming. So we have game 7 in the second round. If the Toronto Maple Leafs win here, Auston Matthews will make the conference finals for the second time in this video, and I think that might happen. The offense is looking good here, but hold on, we're off to overtime here. Montreal's going to be scoring early in the third period, but don't worry, Soshnikov's going to be picking up a massive overtime goal here. He's scoring in game 7, and we're off to the conference finals. Toronto still has a chance at winning a Stanley Cup. So we've made to the conference finals. It's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Philadelphia Flyers, but over in the Western Conference, 2 very good teams, the St. Louis Blues and LA Kings. These next 2 matchups for Toronto are going to be difficult no matter what. Now, I never thought I would see the day. Auston Matthews, although our defense absolutely sucks here, we're going to keep on scoring goals. We have reached the Stanley Cup final. It all comes down to one series, one more series to decide who wins the Stanley Cup. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to end the drought here, but first we have to beat the LA Kings, an amazing team. So Auston Matthews, you've been great the entire postseason run. You have to continue to be great here. We're stealing game number 1 away. Can we steal game 2? Nope, we're going to drop 2 straight after that. That's perfectly fine because we're winning game 4. What's going to happen in game 5? Who's going to be 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup? It looks like it's going to be the LA Kings. We got game 6 elimination. Toronto's known for winning these big games, and I think that's what they're going to be doing. They're winning game 6, they're winning game 7, and Auston Matthews is taking home the Conn Smythe. So I need the Toronto Maple Leafs to absolutely lock in here. Kopitar might be picking up the first goal, and then he's going to pick up another one in this game. Auston Matthews, you're picking up a goal, but I'm going to need more from you. And unfortunately, just like that, we're falling in the Stanley Cup final. The Toronto Maple Leafs aren't going to be scoring enough here, and once again, it's the defense letting us down. If we just signed 1 competent defenseman, we would have won the Stanley Cup there. The 2020 Stanley Cup's going to the LA Kings, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are falling. The one thing I will say though, Auston Matthews, you do have to celebrate this. You did make it to the Stanley Cup final. You made it to the conference finals twice now, so you're definitely seeing a lot more success than you have in real life. But you know the main reason why we didn't win a Stanley Cup here? It wasn't because of Auston Matthews. It was the fact that Timashov was our second best player. He had 19 points in 25 games. Respectfully, Timashov, you were a great player for us, but there is no reason you should be our second leading scorer in the postseason. Mitch Marner, you folded. What a surprise there. Nazem Kadri, you weren't good enough. William Nylander, where are you? 8 points in 25 games, including 0 goals. That just can't happen here. Freddie Anderson, I'm pretty sure you did absolutely everything you could here. You posted a 922 and a 241. Maybe I could have gotten better numbers from you, but you held up your end of the bargain. Also, Timashov is a rookie here. I just learned that. 23 years old, and he's already an 85 overall. This guy's going to be a superstar for this team. So Toronto might not be taking home the Stanley Cup, but we still have to highlight some award winners. Alexander Ovechkin's taking home the Art Ross and the Hart Memorial. The Norris is going to be going to Shea Weber. The Lady Bing's going to Radulov. We're going to see Josh Ho-Sang taking home the Calder. When it comes to the Conn Smythe, Jonathan Quick, is that really much of a surprise? Well, Braden Holtby, he's taking home the Vezina. He's also going to be taking home the William Jennings while he's at it. The Frank Selke's once again going to be going to Bergeron. And to finish it off, we're going to see Alexander Ovechkin taking home the Ted Lindsay and the Rocket Richard. So there's only 2 really notable signings for us. The first is going to be Kasperi Kapanen. We're locking him down for the next 3 years. It's going to be $3.9 million. And then when it comes to Connor Carrick, $5 million for the next 3. Honestly, that's pretty expensive for an 84 overall. I feel like we could have got cheaper in free agency, but at least we're keeping him around. Meanwhile, Kirby Reichel, another 1-year deal. And who would have saw this coming? William Nylander, another 1-year deal. There is no way that William Nylander's on this team in 3 years. Eventually, he's just going to become a UFA and walk away. Now, in one of the best free agent classes we've seen in a long time, we have $800K to work with. Nick Backstrom's available, Travis Hamonick's available, and he's an 88 overall. Chris Kreider's available on 87, Mike Hoffman's available on 87. We're going to see Torrey Krug, Jeff Skinner. This is an elite free agent class right here. And on top of that, who do we have for goaltenders? Peter Mrazek. All right, that was a bit anticlimactic, not going to lie. I was thinking we're going to see some superstar. I mean, UC Saros says down here, he's only an 80 overall, but UC Saros, I'll be perfectly fine with bringing you to the team. So let's check in on our big free agent signings here. The first is going to be Torrey Krug. Krug. And where's he off to? It looks like he's going to be joining the Chicago Blackhawks on a 4-year deal. And Tyler Myers, it looks like he's headed to the Edmonton Oilers. He's signing a 4-year deal as well. Jeff Skinner's going to be taking his talents to the Florida Panthers. They've actually been making some big moves in free agency. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators, they're going to be picking up Nyquist for the next 3. The Detroit Red Wings are going to continue to improve their forward cores. They're going to be bringing in Mike Hoffman. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Flyers are signing Evan Bouchard to a 3-year deal. I'm assuming that's his entry-level contract, but I guess he's on the Philadelphia Flyers now. But the biggest deal in free agency is going to be signed by the New Jersey Devils. They've made so many big moves here as well. They're locking down Nick Backstrom for the next 4 years. That's going to be massive for that team. From that one signing alone, they've immediately become contenders. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I really don't know how to feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Like, Auston Matthews hasn't lived up to the hype. We know that. Timothy has lived up to the hype. No question about it. 86 overall. JVR has been amazing here. The forward core looks really good, but for some reason we just struggle to score. When it comes to the defense, I have no faith in this whatsoever. If we miss the playoffs this season, I wouldn't be surprised. If we finish top 5, I wouldn't be surprised. When it comes to the goaltending, what are we cooking up here? Anders Nielsen, no, you are not starting the first game of the season. Freddie Anderson is. You know what? They want Nielsen starting the first game of the season. That's what's happening here. So this might look very similar to last season, and that's because it is once again the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the division, and they're going to be third in the entire league. A 47, 26, and 9 record. The team continues to look good here. Our offense, though, needs to be better than this. 2.88 definitely isn't enough. We have one of the best defenses in the entire league. How did that happen? How do we have the second best defense? We all saw what our defensive core looked like. When it comes to offense, we're not one of the top teams here. I mean, we're not too far down the list here. We're probably 7th or 8th. Yeah, but how is the defense leading the way for this team? Auston Matthews, 31 goals. I never thought I would see the day. He's leading the team here. He finally did it. He decided to shoot the puck. He learned that he can score goals. 31 goals, 42 assists, 73 points. Yeah, 73 points isn't really enough here, but I'll take 31 goals. Bro is finally starting to do something, and you guys saw our defensive numbers. I can only assume Freddie Anderson was great. 8 shutouts this season. He had a 925, and that goals against a 222. Bro's locked in. So the offense is pretty solid this season. The goaltending is looking great. Auston Matthews is scoring goals. What's the most logical thing to happen now? A first round exit against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's get it. So the Toronto Maple Leafs continue to look amazing here. A shutout in game number 6 is going to allow us to advance to the second round. I don't think we've ever lost in the first round in this video. We missed the playoffs once, but you know what? We haven't lost in the first round. This team continues to make it to the second round, and they continue to make some deep postseason runs. So we're moving on to the second round, and well, who are we going to see again here? The Montreal Canadiens. We've been able to beat this team a couple times, but they've been able to beat us. But you know what? I think we're the superior team. Well, based on the standings, I believe we are. Okay, our records are almost identical. We are not that much better than them. I think you can make the argument that they're actually better than us because they had 48 wins to our 47. So of course, if Toronto's going to be taking on the Montreal Canadiens, these games are going to be going back and forth. The series is tied after 4 games, and unfortunately in game number 5 we're going to be dropping that one in overtime, so now we're facing elimination. So we got ourselves game 6 elimination. The Toronto Maple Leafs better get something going here. And right now things are not going for us. Montreal's going to be picking up a goal here in the second period. It's going to be the lone goal of the game so far. What's going to happen in the third period? Are we eventually going to wake up here? I mean, Nazem Kadri did pick up a goal, but it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are going to be picking up another 2 and we're falling 3-1. Alexander Radulov, he decided to come back to Montreal for one more season and he might get himself a Stanley Cup. So after falling in the second round, Montreal is not going to do too much in the conference finals. They're going to fall in 7 games to the Washington Capitals, but Washington, they're going to fall to the Minnesota Wild. Now, I guess the question could be asked, what let us down here? And it's actually a pretty easy answer. Auston Matthews, you scored 2 goals in 12 games. That's what let us down. I also think you had the worst plus minus on this team. Yes, you did. You were -3, and that's tied for the worst here. Bro, you gotta do something out there. Okay, I'm sorry, but this didn't happen. I refuse to believe Freddie Anderson posted a 142 and a 950 and we lost. There is no way he only allowed 18 goals in the postseason. He allowed way more than that. I refuse to believe he only allowed 18. So after doing some incredibly quick math, and I'm saying very quick because I don't know if I got these numbers right, it's 20 goals allowed here, but you could take 1 or 2 goals off because of empty netters. So yeah, 18 goals actually might be legit. This man really allowed 18 goals in the postseason through 2 rounds, and we still couldn't make it to the conference finals. For the longest time, I've been blaming the defense. That's actually not the case here. It's the offense. So the Maple Leafs are going to make 2 main signings. The first is going to be JVR. He's sticking around for another 2 years at $5.2 million. And then Kirby Reichel, he's going to be staying as well, 2 years at $3.2. When it comes to the rest of the signings here, not really super notable. So the team has no money to work with here, so we're not going to waste any time. Alexander Radulov, he's going to be signing a 2-year deal with the Anaheim Ducks. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's going to be signing a massive deal with the Boston Bruins. It's a 7-year deal. He's up to an 89 overall. Bukestad, who's an 87 overall, he's going to be joining the Edmonton Oilers here. Jake the Snake, who's also an 87, he's off to the Detroit Red Wings. They're actually building a pretty solid team there. Kyle Palmieri, 86 overall, he's joining the Colorado Avalanche. And then the last super notable free agent here is going to be Ben Bishop signing a 3-year deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. But what am I talking about? Dion Phaneuf signed with the Detroit Red Wings. That's a huge deal. Yeah, he's not the player he used to be anymore, but you know what? It's Dion Phaneuf. That's big moves. So I'm going to be honest. If you make no changes during the offseason, are you really going to get a different result here? Auston Matthews, Timashov, Van Riemsdyk, like it's literally the exact same team except for one guy. Who are we missing on this team right now? William Nylander. And where is William Nylander, you might be asking? Well, we ran out of money and we literally just can't afford him. Plain and simple. We don't have the money to keep William Nylander on this team, so he's qualified as an RFA and he's just sitting in the AHL. Actually, I'm not even sure if he's in the AHL. Bro might be back in Sweden. He's just big chilling right now. Freddie Anderson, I got nothing to say about you. You're him, plain and simple. You're the GOAT. You've been the best goalie we've seen in this video so far. I mean, that's a lie. I mean, Jonathan Quick was pretty good. Braden Holtby's been pretty good. But you're top 3, no question about it. The team in front of you just sucks and they don't score goals. Considering we have a 96 overall sniper, you would think that wouldn't be an issue for us. But you know what? We can't score and I don't know why. So we've been offered this deal by the Minnesota Wild, and honestly, let's just do it here. A medium top 9 potential prospect that's not really going to develop into anything, and a 3rd round pick. We're going to send that over to the Minnesota Wild. We're getting Marco Scandella, 84 overall. He's a good defensive defenseman, and he's an 84 overall. He's definitely going to be an upgrade for this team. So Marco Scandella, welcome to the team and help improve our defense, even though that doesn't really have to be improved. Now, it was certainly a step back for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. We're finishing 9th in the entire league, a 45-31-6 record. But the worst thing about this season is by finishing 9th in the entire league, we're in the wild card, and that means we have to take on a really good team in the first round. That's the Washington Capitals. They're 3rd in the entire league. That's our first round matchup. It's certainly not going to be easy for us. Auston Matthews, what are you doing? You had 12 goals. I didn't see those numbers. Freddie Anderson, I know we were good. I know we take on the Washington Capitals in the first round. 12 goals. You scored 12 goals this season. Ain't no way. So I'm happy with how the team's performed so far. We've been able to take 2 games away from the Washington Capitals, but they've taken 2 as well. And they're going to be taking game 5 as well. Facing elimination in game 6. Whatever you guys do, don't lose in the first round. So we got a big game 6 here. The team's got to show out. Spalding's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Oh yeah, this game's over. Never mind. We made a bit of a comeback. Nino Niederreiter is going to pick up a goal in the 3rd, but we're dropping this one 4-2. If we didn't finish in the wild card and took on a team in our division, then we would have been fine. But we had to take on one of the best in the Washington Capitals, and this team wasn't good enough. And then when it comes to our postseason leaders, who would have seen this coming? Auston Matthews, 0 goals. This season, you scored 0 goals in the playoffs, and you scored 12 goals during the regular season. So you played 88 games this season and scored 12 goals. That might be one of the worst scoring seasons for a franchise potential sniper I've ever seen in my life. I got nothing to say. Auston Matthews, your contract is up. You don't deserve anything more than $3 million. So this was such a disappointing season. I don't care who won the Stanley Cup. I don't care what pick we get in the draft here. None of that matters. We are heading directly to next season. I don't care who gets signed in free agency. This was such a disaster. Okay, I am sick to my stomach. This man just scored 12 goals in 88 games. So what do we immediately do? Give him $10.6 million for the next 2. Morgan Riley, 8.7. Honestly, I can live with that. Timashov, this is a decent contract as well, 6.2 for the next 3. But there's one major problem here. There is one guy that didn't really re-sign with the team, and he is very valuable, and we might be in a lot of trouble here. His name, Nazem Kadri. So yeah, we're going to be losing Kadri here. We're losing Lispik. We're losing Marco Scandella. We have $900K in cap space. On top of all that, William Nylander's not qualified as an RFA. What is this team doing? He's mad right now. He's dropped to a 76 overall. We're losing him. Everything's going wrong right now. So we're going to have some big moves happening in free agency. Jake Getzel is going to be signing a 2-year contract with the New Jersey Devils of all teams. Who saw that one coming? Busnevich is going to be signing a 2-year deal with the Vancouver Canucks. Jake McCabe, he's going to the Rangers on a 4-year deal. The big free agent in Nazem Kadri is going to be taking his talents to the New York Rangers after leaving the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's signing a 4-year deal. I got some great news for Calgary Flames fans. They're going to be keeping Johnny Hockey around here. He's going to be sticking around on a 7-year deal. And that's really the last big free agent signing. I mean, you could count Samuel Girard here, but he's not the player he is currently in 2024. So yeah, that's a bit of a smaller signing. So once again, we're going to see a weak free agent class, but we just got to get ready for next season. But it's going to be a tough season. We lost so many pieces. This team's not going to be prepared. So the question has to be asked heading into this season, what do we have better odds of? winning the Stanley Cup or getting the first overall pick? I would say the first overall pick. This team's absolutely chopped right now. Freddie Anderson, you're going to have to pull off a miracle this season. I need you posting a 120 because this team is not going to be able to score. The bottom 6 now has 79 overalls here. We don't stand a chance. We lost so many good players last offseason. We're not the same team we used to be. So the Minnesota Wild are currently offering us the greatest deal of all time. We give up a second rounder and a prospect, but we get an 86 overall player. Yep, I'm accepting that trade immediately. The bottom 6 needs a lot of help, and an 86 overall would definitely do it for us. Yeah, so I got nothing to say about this season. We added an 86 overall at the trade deadline. What did we do right after that? We immediately lost 9 straight games, and I think we won 3 of our final 20 games or something. We were one of the worst teams in the NHL, 18th in the entire league, missing the postseason. Morgan Rielly leads the way with 84 points here. Auston Matthews, you had 20 goals this season, but 20 goals isn't going to cut it. You're minus 14 as well. The Toronto Maple Leafs have completely fallen off. Like, nothing about this team was good this season. Even Freddie Anderson, a 259 is not the best here. A 916 is not the best. I got nothing to say about this Toronto Maple Leafs team. We were supposed to win a Stanley Cup here. Auston Matthews was supposed to become an elite goal scorer, and last season that man picked up 12 goals. This season he picked up 20. The Colorado Avalanche completed their entire rebuild, and they won a Stanley Cup before us. That's just not right. They don't even have Cale Makar on the team. A Cale Makar-less Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup before the Toronto Maple Leafs did. The entire core four is here, and we still can't win. So that's the 2023 season wrapped up there. The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions. We're moving on to 2024. We have one last chance to get a Stanley Cup. Toronto better step up. So the Toronto Maple Leafs saw that they had a lot of money heading into the re-sign phase, so they decided to make a lot of smart moves. Just kidding. Mitch Marner, $6.5 million for the next 7 years. Jake Gardiner, $5.3 million for the next 2 years. Kasperi Kapanen, $5.2 million for the next 2 years. James Van Riemsdyk, $4.2 million for the next 2 years. Connor Carrick, $5.3 million for the next 4. Marty here is getting $3.3 for the next 3. The man we picked up at the trade deadline, who's an 86 and just dropped to an 83 overall, he's going to be brought back 2 years at $3.2 million, and just like that, we have $900K in cap space. We spent every single penny. Actually, now that I think about it, at some point, Freddie Anderson did re-sign with the team here. I wonder what contract he signed. So yeah, a couple years ago, Freddie did re-sign with the team here, 7.7 for 5 years. I don't know how many years it would have been, but yeah, Freddie's sticking around for one more season. So during free agency, once again, we have no money, so obviously we're not doing anything. But Chris Kreider is going to join the Pittsburgh Penguins for 3 years. It looks like Dougie Hamilton's going to be sticking around with the Calgary Flames, or he's returning to the Calgary Flames. He's there for the next 4. Elias Lindholm, he's going to be sticking around with the Carolina Hurricanes. He's signing a 2-year extension. And I guess the final big move here is going to be Zach Hyman going to the Minnesota Wild. I mean, not really too much happened during this free agency. There's a couple 87, 88 overall players, but that was Dougie Hamilton, that was Chris Kreider. So outside of those signings, very quiet here. So we're moving into the 2023-2024 season. The Toronto Maple Leafs yet to win a Stanley Cup. They're coming off a season in which they missed the playoffs. I don't even know how I would describe Auston Matthews' career so far. Very underwhelming when it comes to regular season success. Very underwhelming when it comes to goal scoring because that man does not score goals. But he's seen more postseason success. He's made to one Stanley Cup final. Unfortunately, they didn't win. He's made 2 conference finals appearances. So is he having a better career so far or a worse career? So it's our final attempt here. Auston Matthews, you're still 96 overall, but you're the worst 96 overall of all time. Kasperi Kapanen, 86. We're going to see Mitch Marner, 87. JVR starting to decline here. The bottom 6 is worse than it was last season. Oh boy, this team's going to have a tough season. The defense is worse than it's ever been. I can only assume Freddie Anderson's starting to decline a little bit here. He's still an 89 overall. We have Outhouse as our backup. That's all I'm going to say. Our backup's name is Outhouse. So I've completely accepted the fact that this team is not going to make the playoffs. We're swimming right to the end of the season. We're getting to the end of 2024 and we're finishing this video up. Ain't no way our backup's name is Outhouse and Auston Matthews doesn't score goals. All right, we're 4-1 to start the season. I might have spoke too soon. We're 6-1. All right, this team's making the playoffs. We're 7-1. Unless there's some massive choke, we're making the playoffs. Okay, I just saw the stupidest thing of all time, and honestly, that just caps the video off. The Toronto Maple Leafs missing the playoffs, a 42-35-5 record. Even though this team started 7-1, we're still missing the playoffs. Who led the team in scoring? Reichel. 83 overall Reichel. Auston Matthews, 69 points, 22 goals, 47 assists. You are the worst 96 overall of all time. You did not just do that. You did not just finish second on the team in scoring with 69 points and only have 22 goals. I can't believe that just happened here. The goaltending, I really don't care about. Freddie Anderson, you did everything you could, but this team's not going to be making the playoffs. And to cap it all off, who is our final Stanley Cup champion going to be in the year 2024? It's the Pittsburgh Penguins taking down the St. Louis Blues. So we saw a lot of changes in the league. We saw a lot of different Stanley Cup champions. The Pittsburgh Penguins in the year 2024 still one of the best teams in the entire league, and they're winning Stanley Cups. Even though Sidney Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are all at the end of their careers, they're going to find a way to win one more. Meanwhile, the St. Louis Blues, you really let me down in this final season. In the year 2024, with a chance to win another Stanley Cup, we're going to lose in Game 7. You hate to see it. But you know what you hate to see more? Auston Matthews being an absolute bum. That dude was just terrible from start to finish, and I don't really know why. He was a 96 overall, the highest overall in the entire league, and he only put up 69 points in the final year. Like, how does that work?